Hey guys, and welcome to the next tutorial for ethical hacking. In this tutorial I will be continuing where I left off in the previous tutorial, that is ping utility and time to live. So in the previous tutorial we saw how we could go ahead and pin these different types of websites and check the fragmented parts over there and check what was the maximum frame packet size. So in this tutorial we will be checking what happens to time to live when it expires. Every frame on the network has TTL defined. If time to live reaches 0, the router discards the packet. That is, the mechanism prevents these kind of loss of packets. So in the command window to check, you can just type ping www.educba.com -i space 3. So as you can see, it's showing that it's expired in transit. So you may have a different IP address over here other than what you can see over here, and this is how it will look like. So reply from this 122.169.123.252 shows that TTL expired in transit. It means that the router or whichever you are actually trying to ping has discarded the frame because its time to live has expired. The evaluate tracert, or the better way to call it would be trace route command using ping manually. You can go ahead and find the route from your PC to this specific website, that's educba.com. So the results that you receive over here can be different from what you are doing actually at your own place. Your results may also be different from those of the person sitting next to you. So the reason for that is because of the different networks and settings and the computer. In the command prompt you can just type ping www.educba.com -i1-n1. We are using -n or -n1 in order to produce one only answer instead of receiving 4 answers, unlike over here which you can see on Windows. And if you do the same thing in Linux, it will be like forever. That's why. So the displayed figure over here, it will look something like this: sent one, received one, and there is 0 loss. So similarly, if you go and trying, you may get something like 100% loss or something like that. So in the command prompt you can also type something like, let's say -2, and over here you can see it's still showing 1. I'll just go ahead and check. Okay, perfect. So it is still showing me 1 over here. The display response should be similar to the one shown over here. As you can see, it has only pinged one amount of time. And you can also go ahead and type ping -3 and do the same thing. Use -n1 in order to produce only one answer. You can also go ahead and change if you want, like n2 to go ahead and check the multiple times. I'm using 1 to go ahead and check only one point of time. So you can also go ahead and type, let's say -4 n4 to go ahead and check what is the amount of time to live expired in total. And you can receive, you may have received the answer from the same IP address in 2 different steps, and one identifies the packet filter. Some packets identify the decrement and TTL before they become actually invisible. So you just repeat the above steps until you reach this kind of IP address. Here the successful ping is like you will have to go ahead and keep on trying multiple times till you actually reach a specific IP address, and that's the original IP address of the specific host. Now just make a note of all of these IP addresses from which you receive the reply during the ping to evaluate the tracert. Just document all the IP addresses, reply request IP addresses, and the TTLs as well. So the next thing that we are going to do would be to target you to footprint a target network using the NSLookup tool. NSLookup is a network administration command line tool available for many computer operating systems for querying the domain name system, that's DNS, to obtain the domain name, the IP address mapping, or any other specific DNS record. So in the previous tutorial we gathered information about the IP address, ping statistics, maximum frame size, and in the start of this tutorial I taught you about the TTL response using the ping utility. Using the ping IP address found, an attacker can perform further hacks like port scanning, NetBIOS, etc. And he can also find the country or origin in which the IP address is located and the domain name associated with the IP address. In the next step of footprinting, you need to find the DNS records. Suppose, let's say in a network there are 2 domain names, let's say server A and server B, hosting the same Active Directory integrated zone. Using the NSLookup, tool, an attacker can obtain the IP address of the domain name, allowing him to, let's say, allowing him or her to find the specific IP address of the person he or she is hoping to attack. So though it is difficult to restrict other users to query with DNS server by using the NSLookup command, because this program will basically simulate the process that how the other programs do the DNS name resolution. Because being a penetration tester, you should be able to prevent such attacks by going to the zone's properties on the zone transfer tab and selecting the option not to allow zone transfers. This will prevent an attacker from using the NSLookup command to get a list of your zone's records, and NSLookup can provide you with a wealth of DNS server diagnostic information that you want. The few things that we would be using in this tutorial would be again the NSLookup command through the basic command prompt. The IP, we will be finding the IP address of a specific machine. We will be changing the server that you want the response from, and finally an authoritative answer from the DNS server. So let's take a look as to how these things can be done. Yeah, obviously you would be needing an administrator privilege to go ahead and run these things, and a basic Windows 7 or Windows 8 or 2008 server, or even 2012. So let's take a look what NSLookup is exactly.